Have you been dreaming of playing melodic lead guitar, but after years of practice, you still sound nothing like your heroes? And this lesson today is gonna help you to get unstuck. Let's face it, learning lead guitar is not simple. It might look easy, but to get all these devices, all these techniques under your skin and in your muscle memory, it takes time. If you're someone whose practice lacks structure, you don't have clear goals, and you generally end up being frustrated after practice session, then this lesson is for you. Because it's not a matter of being talented or not. It's just about knowing a few strategies that pro guitarists and guitar teachers use to make consistent progress in their guitar journey. But why should you be listening to me? My name is Ulrich. I've been a pro guitarist for 30 plus years, and I've also helped hundreds of guitarists to reach an expressive level of lead guitar playing, where you're not just playing licks, you're not just following the theory or the scales that you've learned, but you can actually say something with your playing. So if you're here to learn this, then you came to the right place. If you stick around until the end, then you're gonna learn about my 3 main approaches to keep your practices evolving as your skill level develops, where you never get lost again. You always know what to practice. And at the end, I'm gonna make you an offer. We're actually having a Black Friday special right now. If you're someone that wants hands-on training and mentoring, then stick around until the end. But let's get started. The first problem is the lack of structure. How many times do I hear from people, Ulrich, I don't know what to practice. I just watch YouTube class and then I start playing, or I just pull up this backing track and just start jamming. For many guitarists, practice equals mindless noodling. Does that hit a sore spot? Well, let's look at a better way to practice. Playing old backing tracks is generally not the best practice to get better at guitar. But definitely, if that's all you do, there's no wonder that you are stagnating. Let me instead give you a proven formula of structuring your practice. First, you need to know how much time you have available. You should plan your practice in time amounts. So you should know before you start practicing how long you're going to practice that day. Let's say, for example, you only have 30 minutes. Most people already think like, oh, I just got 30 minutes, that's not really going to be a serious practice. I don't believe that. Instead, you got 30 minutes. Let's split these 30 minutes into 3 parts, A, B, C. This is my first approach. It's the ABC practice structure. All right. So block number A is going to be warm up and technique builder. This serves as a gentle reconnecting with the instrument. And I'm not talking about boring scale exercises. I'm talking about a powerful sequence of exercises that focus on different parts of your playing. I'm actually going to show it to you. So the first thing I would start with is just a 1-string drone exercise that I would do for 3 minutes. And this just helps to kind of unwind, because, you know, if you're like most guys that don't play professionally, you might just come home from your job maybe, or you're just working with your kids or your family. You're probably not coming from a meditation resort, right? So you're like stressed, your posture is not good, so you would just want to take a second and just unwind. Then this practice is ideal. I'm just gonna put on G drone here, and we're just gonna play on 1 string only. That's what I call the 1-string approach. I'm just gonna pick a major scale, and I'm gonna play on the B string for exactly 3 minutes. Here's my G note. So that also helps you or forces you to know your fretboard. So we got G major. If you don't know the notes, you know, you can look that up on so many websites. You can find the notes of the G major scale. You will manage, yeah? So I'll tell them actually that this is B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B. Those are all the notes. And then you can play around with the phrasing depending on where you are level-wise. Close your eyes. Use some bands, use phrasing. The important part about this practice is that you stay in the same sound. You're not going all over the place. You don't play any notes outside of the sound that you picked. In my case, major, G major. Yeah? So you're restricting yourself to 1 string and to 1 sound. You're gonna be surprised how quickly those 3 minutes are over. So if you do the math with a 30 minutes practice that we have, then we got 10 minutes for this block A. So we did the 1-string warm up. Then next I'm gonna do a rhythmical warm up. I also call this rhythmical sparring. What do I wanna do there? I wanna just get familiar with the subdivisions of dividing the beat. And basically I'm gonna add a groove to this drone and just switch different subdivisions. If you are not familiar with subdivisions, or you generally don't have a good grasp of that rhythmically, then I suggest you first study the rhythmical pyramid. There is another class here on this channel that talks about that, and I'm gonna put the link up here somewhere. But let's get started. I'm gonna do another 3 minutes here, and I'm just making this a little shorter so, you know, we get through it. Less than 30 minutes. So I have my drone again here, and then I'll just pull up a simple drum computer. There's different plugins or softwares that you have. I use one here that's called BPM, and I'm just gonna put it to 90 beats per minute, and I'm just gonna play. Yeah? And now this time, maybe I just use like a G minor pentatonic. Yeah, you just stick to 1 color again. Yeah. All right. So we start with 8th notes. And my goal is to play fluid 8th note lines all over the fretboard. Once I settle in, I can start switching subdivisions, yeah? So I'll switch to 8 triplets next. Sixteens. Triplets again. 8 notes. And so you're gonna take your way all across the rhythmical pyramid that way and get familiar with the fretboard in just one sound. Now, this is not 100% creative improvising. This is like a hybrid between limiting yourself, again, on one specific task, subdivisions. But within that limitation, you're trying to be musical and creative. All right. And then as a third element, I would use some technical finger pattern exercises. I'm not going to go over them here in these lessons. If you want more of my materials and you want access to all my trainings, stick around because I'm about to make you a fantastic offer at the end. So there's a bunch of exercises that you can also do in just a few minutes that will just work on your digital dexterity. Yeah. All right. So block number 2. Remember, this was all block number A, right? So block number B, we are gonna learn something new. I think it's super essential that in every practice session, you actually learn something new. Many guitarists make the mistake, they just do the warm-ups, they learn stuff that they've learned before, and they never get to learn something new. Every day, you should learn something new. It's that simple. That's how you grow, right? So it doesn't have to be something revolutionary new, but let's say you heard about the triads, you could just set yourself the task, okay, you know what? Today, I'm gonna learn the triad inversions of E flat major all over the fretboard. What does that look like? Let's give it a try. Again, I'll put on an E flat drone, and then I'll find those notes. And there's many patterns. Yeah, I have the drone groove here. I'm using drone groove. And I just start here, maybe you're familiar with this position here. And then next position. And maybe I want to play it as a chord and as single notes, right? All right, let's do one more time in one sequence. Awesome, so I got all the shapes ready, huh? Then I can do this on the next string pair. That's it. Just systematically move forward. And play different rhythms. Now maybe you start improvising with that, yeah? So you just learn something new every day. That's block B. And even if you just spend 10 minutes on it, maybe you learn a new song or you learn a solo, yeah? Make it into bite-sized chunks. If you know you only have 30 minutes, then don't start something monumental. Don't start learning Eruption. But even if you started learning Eruption, you could just start and say, I'm just going to learn the first 4 bars of the Eruption Van Halen solo. All right, and then C, block number C, that is gonna be for improvisation. Because you wanna have some time where you actually just implementing, you're not thinking that much, but you actually improvise. That is the time where you pull out the backing track. And ideally, if you already practiced on your subdivisions in the beginning, and then you learn something new in block number B, you already have so much in your head that you want to work on, that's going to come into your mind, So C is really necessary to just play without thinking and implement what you've learned. You will be surprised how much 10 minutes of intentional improvisation actually are. And here, that brings me to the other tip or the other approach that we're going to learn here in this YouTube lesson today. And that is that you need to record this. Yeah? You could already have recorded yourself early in the practice. If you have some timing problems or so, you should record yourself to check. But here in the improvisation, you really want to record yourself just to review what you're actually doing, what you sound like. Think of a sports athlete, like an athlete. Yeah? Do you think there is any jumper or any swimmer or any runner that doesn't analyze him or herself on video? Come on. This is the general practice of a strong athlete, is to review yourself, review your opponents. Yeah. What the other ones are. Think of martial arts. Can you imagine that? Or soccer? I mean, every trainer will sit down their athletes and go over some video recordings of either themselves or the opponent. Yeah. So why aren't you doing that already? It's so easy to record yourself. So start documenting your progress with regular recordings. Imagine like you practice 6 days a week, and by the end of each week, you got 6 little recordings that you can review on Sunday and see what you've been doing and how much you've been progressing already. And that will help you now to plan ahead for the next week and realize what you need to work on. Because otherwise, this practice is just a pointless noodling, where you don't even have a certain goal, what you need to work on. So you need to build also your analytical skills. It's so important. And you can only do this by recording yourself and reviewing your recordings. Does that make sense? All right. Number 3, and that's already the last point, also super important. If you are studying by yourself and all you do, even if you record yourself and you do your practice and you do the best you can, you are still a closed system. There is no feedback loop. Like all the information that you have is always going to feed back on yourself, and then you are going to review what you did, but there is no new information going to come in. You can watch some YouTube videos, yes, but you're not going to get any additional feedback. So at some point, if you really want to grow and get out of this plateau, you have to get some outside feedback. Get a teacher, either a local teacher around you, or find someone to work with that will review these videos, for example, that I was talking about, and can just tell you what to do better. It will drastically, massively speed up your progress. You're going to make leaps and jumps like never before, because somebody that's already further ahead of you is going to give you so much different of a feedback than you would give yourself. It's very clear, isn't it? Yes, and that brings me to our special Black Friday offer. This video is sponsored by the Total Guitar Transformation Black Friday special. I'm talking about 90 days of targeted mentoring where I will teach you how to practice correctly. So not only will I make sure that you will implement these 3 points here that we just discussed, but I will personally review your homework videos. We will meet on Zoom calls, and you will get the full enchilada of TGT magic into your playing. If you're interested to sign up for this, by the time of creating this video, we had 15 spots left. So if you watch this video much later, you're not gonna have this opportunity. But I'm gonna put the link down here for you to fill out an application, and then we will be in touch with you. This offer ends on Friday, November 28th. So don't wait too long. Take action now, and let's fix your practicing and have you transform your guitar playing. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Thank you so much for being here. Please subscribe to the channel. And if you want to learn more about my layered lead guitar method, then check this video up here next.